away. To get away.
Son, the war's not over. The dawn's not that far away. Hop back on the saddle soon. You saw the soldier. The dark can consume your brain. All we ever wanted was a little air to breathe. But all we got are ashes of our old memories. They can try to take me down, but they can't take me to my knees. No, you'll never take me. Not my choice, but it's my blood to bleed. I'm fatal. Heed the words I say to you before I will fade away. I need to know what you can do. Show them the only way. All we ever wanted was a little air to breathe. But all we got are ashes of our old memories. They can try to take me down, but they can't take me to my knees. No, you'll never take me. Not my choice, but it's my blood to bleed.
Hello and welcome to another season of the XP Esports Women's League for Rainbow Six. My name is Blue Panda. Joining me on the mic, as per usual, it's Cthulhu. And Cthulhu, we're heading straight into Season 6. And we've got a couple of new teams joining the competition.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, we've seen some freshest introductions of orgs, of the teams, of the players as well into some of those teams. So, honestly, it is an exciting time to close out the year for Women's League and to kickstart, well, the final season for 2021.
Let's jump right on into it. Let's have a look at the league format and see how things will be working here in Season 6. Going into the competition, it's going to be hot, it's going to be heavy, and well, look, it's round robin for the first 7 weeks, best of 1 format. That will take our 8 teams down to the top 4. Then it gets interesting. We head into the best of 3 format. The competition really starts to heat up, and from there we progress through, into the finals. That top 2 teams. Honestly, Cthulhu, with some of the names, some of the teams coming to this competition, it's going to be absolutely hot start to finish.
Absolutely, yeah. This season is promising to bring us some absolute bangers. And honestly, look, you may have already caught some glimpse of some of the team logos. We are going to be introducing them gradually, but look, some exciting times are coming for sure.
And of course, what kind of competition would it be without the teams? We'll jump on, we'll get a better look at them now. And yeah, look, you may have noticed some of those newer logos coming in. Overt back in the competition, of course, picking up a new roster. Grumpy Grapes back, Volpes, that's Sporkiet's new team coming through. Viking Army, same old staple team. And the Warriors, having picked up an Oceanic Challenger League team this year, they have now joined the XP Esports Women's League. Radical Rebels are back. Forsaken 5 have picked themselves up a team, another Oceanic Challenger League team, and then rounding out Fallen Angels. So there is some big competition this season.
Absolutely, and we did see all of those teams really pull up some quite interesting plays to see the release. Then they were shining through on quite a fair few matches. So I'm excited to see what some of those renewed rosters, some of the older rosters that are returning into the league will be able to show us. Given that, look, season 6 teams, borderline, we actually had first time in a while where we had so many teams that we actually, well, there was an overflow over the place. Let's just say that.
That's exactly it. And look, let's take a look at what they're playing for. Of course, there is incentive here in the Women's League. There is a prize pool up for grabs. Same old. $3,000 up for grabs, with first place walking away with a cool half of that, $1,500. Second place picks up $1,000, and then that third place team walks away with $500. And honestly, that is a decent chunk of change.
Absolutely. Look, plenty of incentive to really play it out, to have a jolly good time, and for quite a fair few teams to sweat it out, test their might, see where they stand, and if they have even the guts to maybe start contesting for some of the higher end leagues and pathways for pro league, even maybe.
Well, it's not the only incentive there is available here in Season 6 of the Women's League. Of course, there is the ZQ Racing MVP up for grabs. You pick yourself up a ZQ Racing chair worth $300. Honestly, there have been some big names that have taken this accolade away. And look, everyone knows a gaming chair is the difference, the make or break between good and great in Siege.
Absolutely. It gives you just the otherworldly gaming powers, being able to flick everywhere on everyone's heads and look so good that even some people are being banned in game.
Look, the only thing that is
I'm
superior
joking, by the way. For
to a
legal
gaming
reasons, this
chair,
is a
yeah,
meme.
a legal reason is a joke, but everyone knows the only thing better than a gaming chair for esports prowess and skill is RGB. Unfortunately, it's not an RGB chair. You've got to add that yourself. But Cthulhu, we turn our attention to week 1. That's where we are right now. The schedule going ahead, seeing how this competition is going to be playing out, kicking off week 1. It is a very interesting one to say the least. Volpes take on Radical Rebels here. Game 1 on the mainstream. On the off stream, we have the off stream, yeah. Well, Viking Army versus the Warriors. The community cast stream will be picking up Grumpy Grapes and Forsaken Boba. And we finish the night Overt versus Fallen Angels here on the A stream. And look, we are going to have some absolute massive matches to kick this stage off.
100%. Look, honestly, all of those matches looking to be quite a barn burner. And Volpes versus Radical Rebels could actually kick us off really, really well. Matter of fact, why don't we dive straight into it? Given that, look, I'm just excited for each and one of these matchups. Vulpes versus Radical Rebels. Look, Vulpes, the team, well, team/org that has been founded by Spooky, has seen a few new introductions that we're just about to talk. And against Radical Rebels, the team that had one or two changes in the roster, but overall stayed just about true. So probably one of the storylines that could be here is just how well some of the newest introductions into the teams will be able to slide into the roster. How will they be able to play it out, and how much fun can they have, really?
Yeah, look, there are some big names in the competition, like you said. Let's jump on into the teams individually and look at some of the players that will be kicking things off here in match one of the stage. Of course, Volpez, Sporkiet, Brunek, Toki, Andrew, and Angry. That's Angry Wolf. She's dropped the wolf from her name. Obviously, foxes and wolves. You don't want to get them confused, so it makes a bit of sense. This is a pretty stacked roster. They've also got Peepo as a sub with Soraya and Maya as well. They've picked up a couple of coaches, Ollie and Pew, both from Altered Edge. They've played a decent amount of comp. We got to see them the other night, you and I, Cthulhu. But look, this is a stacked roster. Let's be perfectly honest. This is a roster that is incredibly capable, incredibly... Well, look, the only way I could use to describe it is quick and clean on the sticks. They hit those headshots, and they do it pretty well.
Absolutely. Look, this whole roster definitely introduces quite some promise. I'll certainly say that. With people being on the sub, look, at the very least, we can be assured that even if Vulpes will require a sub, they will be absolutely cracked. And I actually got to play a little bit with Soraya as well. She can be absolutely dangerous when it comes down to getting into the server and gaming it out. So against them, though, Radical Rebels going up in the first week, their roster looking quite promising as well.
Yeah, the Radical Girls definitely ones to keep an eye on as well. And as we have a look at the players that will be taking the field for the Radical Rebels, they definitely set up a pretty significant competition for Volpez. You got Zero Prince, Corvice, Mystique, Aussie Ash, and Alora, with Weasel and Meeps as the subs. Some girls that have been seen throughout the last couple of stages or seasons of the Women's League. And I mean, names like Mystique, names like Corvice, and Meeps stand out. They pretty cool players in this competition. So, yeah, this definitely could be a match that does go quite deep.
Zero Prince as well was one of the big highlight players back in some of the previous seasons. She was just absolutely ripping it up, and honestly, just I'm excited to see what can be brought out by them, because not a half bad, even statistics-wise, performance, albeit, well, that's slightly overcome the kills, but we all know that how well they were still able to pull out quite a fair few rounds against their opponents.
It is a game of coordination and team effort. So it's not all about the kills.
Absolutely.
We know this, Cthulhu. Going into our matchup tonight, look, there's a new map in the competition. There's a lot that could come into this. We might see something new, something fresh. But why don't we dive straight on into it? Map ban phase hitting your screens now, so we can figure out where we will be playing match one of the season. And look, it's same old, it would seem. Bank gets taken out in the first rotation. Chalet in the second. So our two newest maps not going to be out just yet. But it's Oregon. It's a stay mode. It's a staple. This should be a very solid map for both teams.
Absolutely, yeah. Oregon is promising to be exciting. And as a matter of fact, let's get a quick view over the flyovers of Oregon as we just about to get into the game. But honestly, yeah, Oregon, even with all the things that been going with it,
these are the new flyover videos that we've been given as well. How good do they look?
Yeah, those are clean. Those are clean. You love to see those.
Zeman has definitely outdone himself with those. I think there was 2 hours or something he said when he posted it up earlier today of flyover videos. So you love to see it, but going into ban phase, this is going to be an interesting one for sure. Look, Cthulhu, do you reckon we see the Thunderbird played?
Perhaps. I wouldn't be too sure, seeing as back in some of the previous seasons, we haven't seen up until like close to the conclusion really of the season some of the more newest operators. But honestly, yeah, still an exciting time that brings the possibility of Thunderbird, and we've seen how impactful Thunderbird was in OCL as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it just allows that depth of roam. You can be a little bit more, not necessarily
comfortable,
reckless, but you can be a bit more free spirited, I suppose would be the best way to describe it. Knowing full well the coda stations are in place, so that should you need to retreat, you have those to cover yourself. But it looks pretty stock staple. The Spaniard duo, Jackal and Miraband out. It's both of them by Volpez as well, and then Thatcher Cade by the Radical Rebels. So no real surprises there.
Not at all, yeah. Relatively standardized. Ban phase, Cade is probably the biggest kind of quote-unquote oddity out of all of that, but again, he makes absolute complete sense to be banned out, especially on a map like Oregon. In saying that, though, we are going to be going to what is usually considered to be a tertiary site, meeting Hall and Kitchen. And a 6-pick onto Lion, the operator that I personally been vibing with, but purely for completely different reasons than outside of his usefulness in utility. On the side of Vulpes, an introduction of Frost. I am curious though, how well will this Frost work out, because there's not a whole lot of positions that usually Frost mats will do good here, unless you are playing up above.
Yeah, I would imagine that's probably the game plan on a site like this. You tend to play that vertical. You want to head upstairs, control the dorms and attic as well. So look, I rate it. I do. I think Angry is going to have the utility to help clear out. But honestly, the setup itself almost reads into a rush style setup.
I mean, yeah. Now that I look at it, it does offer quite a fair bit of kind of aggressive swinging, aggressive momentum.
Well, I mean, sorry, it's reading into the aggressive play from Radical, so they're trying to counteract that, I think.
Yeah, but even with some of these 6-picks and whatnot, like Lion probably allows it even more with the way how things could go. Unless the Lion doesn't have the Gon 6, then maybe we shall be seeing a much more withdrawn play, because Mystique would probably want to keep her impact grenades here. But apart from that, one side push from Mystique, the rest of the team of RDC are looking to go vertical here.
Yeah. So far, we are seeing exactly what you would expect for a setup like this. The only real significant difference from what you conventionally see is probably Zero heading over towards that double window. And Sporky looking to get a bit cheeky on the angle there. If you watch her streams, you know she plays a lot of Hitman, so she's going to be a little bit deadly when it comes to those tight angles. EE1D goes out. Sporky tucks herself in behind the bunk beds for now. But if Zero gets isolated and fragged out here, that's no more scans for the rest of the round.
Well, funnily enough, nobody out of RDC is yet putting any emphasis onto pushing the attic, which is an interesting prospect given the fact that they had this pretty much as a free real estate for quite a long while, and now it's down to them to actually start going in for the push. Will Angry, though, pick up the frag, though, here, either on Maverick or Thermite? That is a whole different question.
Well, Laura playing a dangerous game there, watching the angle, not covering. Angry goes for a bit of a pre-fire, but Laura again misses that opportunity. Corvice just ducked herself back in the big tower, so missed opportunities for both sides. There's still plenty of time, still plenty of utility to work out. Unfortunately, though, for Radical, that is the final scan.
Probably not the best case scenario. Mystique, though, taking out Sporky on that flank while she was distracted is a good thing. That's not the way you throw in the flashes. Mystique would be quite annoyed about that one, but we do cast our sight now always towards the push from the attic, and no, that's not a good start. At least for the defense.
Yeah, it takes that Angry, deals with the Frost mat there. Even Aussie Ash is just taking down everybody utility. Unfortunately, with Allura dropping onto the site and being dropped herself, doesn't mean it is a doable situation. Unfortunately, 2 quick frags go the way of Radical Rebels, and it's now in the hands of Toki. And unfortunately, she cannot do anything either. Radical Rebels take a very, very solid round 1.
Nice and swift is probably the best way to describe this. Very nicely done by Radical Rebels, but this is only the beginning for them. This is only the start of their matchup, albeit this is a best of 1, so at this point, really, each and every round will be counting, because I would imagine we are going to be going into the quite a fair few tiebreakers once we get closer to the conclusion of the regular season. But Kids Dorms and Dome Hall is going to be the next choice for the defense of Vulpes, as we are going to be seeing, interestingly enough, a swap over from Mozzie onto a Valkyrie, which I can see the reasoning, but I'm more so questioning the decision of, like, over Mozzie, if, say, for example, somebody either instead of Mute or somebody like instead of, actually, maybe even Aruni, but Aruni became so heavily wedged into the meta that it's borderline impossible to replace what she brings to the table here. She's more like a quote-unquote legalized Capcan to a certain even degree.
Legalized Capcan, well, the Capcan now, look, legalized.
Oh yeah, that's the yeah. Speaking of,
I think he well, he is legalized in this game. I think you know the devs may have been smoking some of that illegal stuff over here. And when they came to the conclusion that maybe all the traps should stack on the same doorway, we've seen it once, and we've played around with it a bit. It's not the most effective, given that a single impact can clear out a door, but it makes for a hell of an entertaining time.
Certainly, given the fact that the damage of those Capcan traps has not been nerfed, so as long as 2 of those hit you, that's it, you're dead. And it kind of returns Capcan to almost the similar kind of form as he was back in the early development days, where you could see a huge, ginormous bolt poking out through the other side of the doorway and the visible laser, but it would kill you pretty much instantaneously if you run into it. So,
you know, the one person I can only imagine is absolutely spewing about that change. Old Triceratops thinking back to her Dome to Dome 1v5, where if that had been the case, she would have won the 1v5.
That is true.
Look, she probably sat there looking at the patch notes and was just like absolutely almost considered quitting Siege at that point. Like, why are you doing this to me now?
Attackers have located a bomb.
There's an interesting thing. Vulpes are not defending Attic. There's nobody in Attic, nobody watching the rotation from Attic. And Toki might get quite a handful once we are going to be seeing a swing from Corvise.
Yeah, I mean, that's an ambitious situation. Toki does duck out, but it's going to be a trade. Headshot for headshot in the end. That is a very, very close angle for both of them to be contesting, and you can understand why it ended up being a trade.
Though I gotta say, this is still very solid trade overall, given that Korva has technically already done her job with the blowtorches. So, in saying that, final E1D is out there, so it's time for push, but Andro's position here could be absolutely huge. Well, spoke too soon.
Andro gone. Unfortunately, with a quick headshot there from Zero, who is playing a very solid game so far. Allura walks towards bottom Attic, taking that control, wants to flush Sporky out if she can. Mystique just charging on through Dorms, but has been caught by Brunek. And look, are you that surprised? It's Brunek. She's kind of cracked in these situations, especially with that Jaeger in hand. 3 versus 3 with 24 to go. Allura and Sporky spot each other. Zero charges onto Dorms. No thinkers, so the health is going to be a bit rough for the close out of the round. Angry drops Aussie Ash. Zero Prince drops to Brunek as well. Just covering these angles, the swing, and Brunek on the job. Vulpes take a quick answer.
Definitely feels like this was a much more planned out side for Vulpes, comparative to what we saw on Meeting and Kitchen, which certainly brings a little bit more faith now into the defensive game, albeit it's still a 1-1 scoreline, so things could really change once we go down to the laundry and supply room, which is exactly where really Vulpes would really want to go. They don't want to go back to the tertiary side, they just want to keep on scoring the points, and laundry and supply room is the probably one of the best ways to go about it, really. Interestingly enough, though, we are seeing the introduction of Castle after his buff, now having 4 of those Castle barricades, but they're, I guess you could call them, punch health has been reduced from 12 to 9, so it's a little bit easier to pop them, but you still waste a obnoxious amount of time. And then in coordination with an Aruni gate as well, it is going to be one hell of an annoying combo.
Yeah,
Like imagine, just like
Definitely.
you stack a castle barricade Aruni here at the double door into the bunker, a castle barricade and an Aruni at the entrance into the pillars, and chuck in either into the electrical or into the freezer doorway as well. So all literally like you need to spend a ton of just utility just to clear out and open those castle barricades, or you need to spend the utility to just open the soft walls.
That's actually kind of insane. Like just thinking about it, you could literally lock down every single doorway, like major doorway to the site. There is one castle barricade, bottom laundry. I can't see any others. I would imagine possibly top freezer stairs, maybe top laundry.
Well, there's one in the kitchen hallway.
So they are going
One
for that first
in the
floor
meeting.
extension. No laundry. No freezer. Sorry. Okay, so
Yeah.
I can
And Angry
understand
still
it.
has
Okay.
one more.
Yeah, so one left. There's one on meeting, one on big tower stairs, that hallway stage position, one down in bottom laundry, and then one in the pocket. Interesting. I rate it. I really do. Unfortunately, with Mystique on the job, that meeting hall door has already been opened, and they are starting to pressure down laundry stairs for now. But drone work is going to be
Look
key.
where Angry is. Angry is on a crusade. She doesn't care that there's already presence right directly below her. Brunek already bailed out. Nobody's there to support her. So she's on a single player crusade with a 1.5 UMP 45.
Look, we've seen Angry play. She is a one-woman crusade, and quite a capable one at that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see her pick up a kill or even two from that position, especially if the execute is committed to for Radical. She could pinch you on behind and do some real damage.
Look at this. So much ground, though, is being given away to Radical Rebels for literally nothing. No trade-offs, no changes, and already the push is about to come around swinging. How is Brew alive? Explain.
She is going to duck herself back into sight. Yeah, a little bit of commitment in towards tarps could have been huge. Android tucked in by the washing machines as well. So they are covering those angles. Aussie Ash knows that Brew could be in position to flank once again. We have the opening into storage. Zero Prince is going to be the first one to cop some damage here, pushing on through to Freezer. There's still no hard gunfights taken just yet.
He's waiting for him to swing here. Has a very aggressive angle, but about to be fragged out, and there she is. There
Zero's
she goes.
just on an absolute tear. Takes down Sporky, which would have been the first point of resistance. Knows that someone's still there, but Andro swings out. Toki falls as well. The core by so the gunfights are coming hard and fast down the closer of the round. But Angry again on that pinch. Spots two. Spots three. Finds two of them. That is a big spray down. And that is diffuser
And a
control
finish.
taken. It's all but over. And Volpez, what a pinch. Angry coming in huge for the team.
To be honest, I nearly forgot that Angry was still on the roam. I kind of just saw her upstairs. She's kind of like very much disconnected. My brain kind of written her position completely off, but that's exactly what seems like Radical Rebels did as well. Just completely written it off and got punished for it.
I mean, that was
Yeah.
flank of this tournament. We're only 3 rounds in. That's huge. I mean, surely the information would have had to have been there. They should have heard the Super Shorty opening the attic hatch. They just should
I
have
would
been that
imagine so,
information.
but I think in their heads it ended up being them thinking, oh yeah, they open up hatch, probably already got the call out that the push is happening, so straight away rotate in through the attic hatch, down into the meeting hatch, into electrical, and already bailed out. So I'm assuming that's what was in their heads, like trying to figure out where was Sporky, but I think partially as well there was a whole comms overflow at the entrance into the bunker as well, which was complete cluster truck.
Yeah, look, after that white screen, I think Sporky was struggling to figure out where she was as well.
Yeah, Sporky got
10
her
seconds left.
poor retinas just completely burnt out.
Well, it's the new flash mechanics. Where do you look at that situation? Because no matter what you do, no matter what you attempt, you are going to be hit by the stun. And the fact that Zero was just able to follow up with it so quickly, it was a guaranteed frag. It was just nothing Sporky could have done.
Especially in where Sporky was positioned. If she was, say, even like able to just hide the face in like a small like angle, she would have actually been able to protect her her eyes, but yeah, it just didn't work out, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Mystique already and Zero, as a matter of fact, actually have the upstairs push pretty much nailed down pat. Seen them in and out just every round, clearing it out as quickly as possible. Again, so much utility and so many rotation positions have been put in play, yet it's only a single player, well, pardon me, duo roaming around, but no contention at the walk-in closet, no contention by the wall to deny, not even a mute. And begs for a question as to, well, what's the go here? Drone's already there to relay information as well. Sorry, go ahead.
I think Volpes are just confident with their gunfighting. They know they don't want to commit utility. They want to funnel Radical through these choke points to take the gunfights on their terms. And so far, I mean, look, they are up 2-1, so it has been working for the most part. If they can keep doing it, and if they can keep playing off their gun skill, this map should be quite comfortable for them in the first half.
A bomb has been located.
In saying that, though, the good timing and good read on as to where RDC will be pushing, albeit Andrew just got absolutely bullied by Corvise from, assuming that was on the hatch, but good rotation and draining of the time, because that was half a round pretty much drained just off literally just
Bomb
sheer
located by
presence.
attackers.
Small dorms control taken, so that hatch is now a danger zone for Volpes. Sporky is well spotted now, as the vast majority of the second floor control is now seated. Sporky on a deep roam down in the basement, though, could well and truly upset if she finds herself the right angle. Mystique slowly walking down white, so there are a number of positions that are still unaccounted for here by Volpes. There's just a powder keg of pressure. Angry playing close on the door. Zero looking the wrong way is just absolutely murked. In the final 40 seconds, anyone could take it.
He rotated over to the stairs again, and just perfect frag. Straight away, bails out. Mystique might be able to catch her on rotation, but she got different fish to catch here. She's hunting Angry, and she's got a one hell of an angle at her, really.
So
She could actually shoot her feet as well through the drone hole if she tried, but she is completely oblivious to the fact that
Seconds left.
the Frost is playing very up close.
Maybe they need to pick in Nasty as one of their coaches, but Angry holds it down again, finds a second. Looking for more. Allura drops to Brunek, who has just been a solid force in this match. Aussie Ash in the sight, but it's just being burned away by the Evil Eye without time left. Volpes take themselves a 2-round buffer, leading 3-1 at the moment.
Opus had a bit of a hiccup in the first round, and once they warmed up, once they figured things out, it was just smooth sailing from there on. Very nicely done, very solid play, and gotta give them props. The effort that the AE boys put in as coaches as well does certainly show. Volpes are certainly very coordinated here.
Look, I think it's just confidence in their own abilities, like we said.
Well,
They're
that
not
is true as
committing
well, yeah.
Too heavily in the denial. They're not even worrying about breaches at all. Honestly, even with the mute that we saw last time, it's majority of the role is
Attackers
just
need
there to
to
deny that
locate and defuse
information.
bombs.
So they're just the amount of confidence in Volpes and their own like frag potential is what is winning them these rounds.
I would imagine plenty of scrims as well went into this, at least to just polish the play, because it's definitely looking very well organized, and that kind of that confidence that they have does certainly come from that. Just knowing what exactly each and every one of them needs to do, where they need to play, where they need to sit. Like, I mean, look at this. Even the bulletproof cameras are pretty much being set up down pat. So
10 seconds remaining.
honestly, I rate this. Volpes is definitely doing their due diligence
5
here and
seconds
just
left before insertion.
making sure that their play is clean and just playing off that, playing their own game. Whereas Radical Rebels kind of being left forced to kind of play catch here. Whilst they are still also showing that on attack they have done their best to try to make it as smooth of an experience as possible. It just, once it comes down, I guess, to maybe time management, is that's where they are kind of missing out. This push, by the way, looking to be very stacked, and Spooky might just be able to farm this with the C4.
Yeah, it's hopefully the information is there. With a Valkyrie, you would have to hope the information is there, but a well-placed Nitro Cell could upset all the momentum. I mean, I did speak to the potential of a rush play coming out of Radical Rebels. The lineup was geared towards it. They had the utility, but we already see Andro flushed out of that position, having to give up trophy. She will have to play back onto the side, and with very reduced health, that could potentially swing it in Radical Rebels' favor.
Also, an early push out of that position is actually huge, which does allow RDC to get in quickly at just under the 2-minute mark and get to actually breaching, which is, again, very, very huge leverage to really play about. Spooky and Angry actually playing a very distant roam game. Allure will be able to spot one of them, and the roam clear is there. Pre-fire could be coming about and could be the end, but instead it looks like Mystique's end, actually, instead. That was a quality hunt.
They did not scout that out, and the Nitro as well could be absolutely huge. Does she have the info to land it in the right spot to catch off this walk-in closet push? But Corvice in that position. If Sporky gets that info, there we go. It's there. She's looking too high. Oh, she does get it at the end. Sporky. That was so close to an absolute upset, but
defending them menacingly.
She is like, if you watch her stream, she plays a lot of Hitman, and she is, boy, is she playing Agent 47 right now.
He's ready to execute people left, right, and center. Funnily enough, meanwhile, RDC are not particularly too worried about that pressure from below. They have bigger problems right now because...
That's 3.
Well, really, bullets are coming from the floor. Now they need to finally start focusing about this.
Andro does fall, so it's not going to be flawless. But Sporky, that's the 4th! She might even get the ace here in map 1. Shoots out the stingers. Allura knows where she is, but it is only single kill for Sporky to get her ace, and Allura relocates to walk into Brunek. Oh, what a horrible teammate. Steals the ace.
In saying that, though, Vulpes, 4-1. Panda, we might be seeing a very clean 5-1 scoreline, because so far, Radical Rebels, apart from getting into the building quickly and then getting a breach, haven't really had any quote-unquote tangible or big progress for themselves, which is quite unfortunate.
4-1. Vulpes, I mean, the new org coming in here, really making a statement. And other than, you know, the one hiccup in that last round, which was Brunek, who look, let's be honest, there's a good chance she gets benched next week after stealing the captain and owner of Vulpes' ace.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
So it's been
defused by
nice having her in the
attackers.
competition. It sucks to see her go, just because that's not acceptable behavior. We do not condone ace stealing here in the XP Esports Women's League.
Probably. It won't even be. Sorry, it wouldn't be even like out of the roster. It's just somehow Vulpes would accidentally lose the Twitter tag of Brunek from Twitter, and once the announcement goes live, it's like Bro, who?
Brew.Vulpes, more like who.Vulpes.
Exactly.
10 seconds left in the prep phase here for the final round of the half. I mean, Vulpes, they're on track to hit that 5-1 split here on Oregon.
Attackers,
Not a bad way to kick off the season on top of things. Radical, I mean, despite their best efforts, it is that information game that is struggling just a little bit. And you can see that Zero switches off the line, goes to the Nomad. They want a bit more of a guarantee, I suppose would be the best way to describe it. And denying that flank. The Radical, again, not wasting any time, quickly looking to get themselves into Big Tower to take some control. If they can get themselves into meeting, and, well, they've taken out that castle barricade quick and early, they could look for a quick drop down into E-Box.
Yeah. I certainly could be seeing that. Honestly, RDC. There we go. And their idea, look, bringing Nomad is a good start, but again, they already been running a gridlock, and it didn't help them purely for the fact that Radical are expecting a very close by roam and a very close by flank. And if that was the case, those spikes would have been good. But because Vulpes are playing such a very far away, very quote-unquote disconnected kind of roam game from the site, unless you go for a full-on roam clear, that's only then you're able to find success.
The second half of the round, and well, That's one way to guarantee no one's gonna flank you from meeting or kitchen. A claymore on top of the track stingers. You're gonna be so focused
And
on
an air jab.
Yeah, and an air jab. Oh boy, someone is gonna have a bad time if they walk through that doorway.
Located a
Oh
bomb.
boy. Look. Hopefully, do we have any impacts? No, we don't have any impacts. So
We
not
do have a
only are
C4.
you gonna, I don't know if Tucky wants to commit the C4 to clear out a doorway like that. But honestly, the way things are gearing up, I don't imagine that we are going to see a flank through that position. Look at the angles that have been covered. Corvice now onto that big tower stairs has been spotted, but good night, Angry Allura. What a shot to hit.
Actually, from the from just outside the bunker, that could have been huge. Very audacious decision to use, but I love this utilization of the spikes, and it does force the Goyo out of the position. But already Corvice is down, Mystique is gone, and technically 4v3.
They should be able to pick them up, and they do, but unfortunately Zero is also tagged for her efforts there, so 2 of 4 players here for Radical blinking red with their health bars. 28 seconds to play, they've got utility to do it. Unfortunately, they may not have the players as Brew just steps up around that Vulcan shield and takes Corvice. My lord, my brain is just not coming together here for the first week of play. Corvice taken out of the equation. We hit the final 30 seconds here. Cthulhu 4 versus 3, and I mean Volpez, they've managed to mount such a solid defense in these last couple of rounds. It surely looks like they're going to do it again. 3 seconds remaining, no time to do it. They're going to have to fuddle on through. The parts going down though. Allura on the job and Zero covering. Will be dropped. Allura has to stick the diffuser. Will in fact, and now might be able to contest, but no. Of course, Sporky steps on through, hits the shot, and will get their defuse. Volpez, a 5-1 half.
Diffuser disabled by
Yeah, not too shabby at all. Very nicely done, Volpez, showing that they're definitely a very strong team on the defense, especially in Oregon. And maybe this is the sign that, look, maybe it's time to start experimenting with some of the different maps. We obviously have Chalet and Bank as some of the more freshest reintroduction into the competitive pool. And I say reintroductions because they, once upon a time, they were part of the competitive pool. Same as, by the way, as Plane. Plane at the very inception of competitive Siege was a Pro League map, by the way, which is now you think about it, it's huge. But it also managed to kind of kickstart a legend of a certain player / caster as well.
attackers to locate and defuse bombs.
Apart from that, look, instead of me delving and being a boomer, why don't we cast our eyes to round 7, which is now the defensive side for RDC and an attacking side for Volpez, with them bringing relatively same lineup as what RDC ended up getting for their final attacking round.
Well, look, Volpez, I think of course. Why am I not surprised that Brunek will go from playing the Yeg on the defense to Fragmite on the attack? Like, she is just hitting some nasty shots right now.
Totally. Her and Sporky doing absolutely phenomenal
Locate
work.
and defuse a bomb.
Not to discredit as well, Angry Ando and Toki is just, you look at the scoreline 7-2, 10-3, putting in the work. Let's just say that.
Well, a 5-1 half is going to be a little bit hard to try and battle to overcome for Radical Rebels. Not impossible, but it is going to be hard. On a map like Oregon, they probably have their best chance of actually making it happen. And with Mystique now picking up the Jaeger, she's been known to pick that up and play it very, very well. Zero, who has found some success in this map so far, bringing out the Mozzie. I'm keen to see what Radical can do in mounting that comeback on the defense. But so far, no real early aggression for Radical. They're not taking any of those early gunfights that we saw Volpez commit to. So they are going to play it a little bit more passive.
Zero does manage to capture the drone that was supposed to essentially force Zero out of her position on Zulu. But instead it's now extra information and information denial. Angry, meanwhile, whilst I was waffling around with the spectator controls, does get the better of Mystique, who was, unfortunately for herself, wedged for some reason behind the metal shelves, which didn't really allow her a whole lot of wiggling room there.
I mean, it's a common angle to be played here. This is if you're going to see a Maverick opening that attic wall, there is going to be someone playing from the stairs, watching that low angle. Corvice now picks up the mantle, spotted by a drone, but is going to rotate herself back into kids' dorms for now. Alora there to provide some support, but for the most part, attic has been given up.
Just about to see an attempt to get in, but because Sporky unfortunately was not able to nail that Mew Jammer with the 2 impacts, they are forced to go through quite a various amounts of hurdles, and Alora actually about to try to take this without the ballistic shields, which is going to be quite difficult.
Or player jumping in the armory stairs as well. I believe it was Deptra playing that angle in the Oceanic Challenger League match with that shield, the pixel onto the trophy door. So I think a shield there would have been big.
Oh,
Look, the
okay.
plan. Oh, look at that! The avenues Volpez are opening up for themselves, giving them that fluidity. Sporky walks on, takes the head out of Aussie Ash, and fortunately for Volpez, there will be a quick trade back. Angry dropped as well. Corvice on the job with the secondary to confirm. The swing through into kids. Dorms could be huge. Sporky with a big mouse 1. Taki takes down 0, and it's Alora left alone. Tucked into the corner of the site. Spots 1, but can't quite hit the shot she needs to. The position well and truly spotted. Brunek on the plant. Prone without a Nitro Cell to try and deny it in a 1 versus 3. Radical are about to be down 6-1.
Situation though, but still relatively salvageable. Well, forget what I said. Spooky's on the job with an LMG as well. Perfect setup, but look, a little bit of a sloppier play with the utility. Give it, say, if it was Volpez on attack against somebody like either Warriors or Overt, I reckon that team would have been able to punish them quite heavily for the misplay with those impact grenades, because that looked like that felt like it was one of the kind of key ways of going about it. But the fact how they adapted, how they opened up a rotation under the guise of the smoke, worked out actually quite well. And obviously with Sporky being able to turn up the aggression even more, just full on send for one of the positions that she didn't knew about her opponents, worked out interestingly well.
Tachanka as a 6th pick there from the smoke for 0. And I mean, look, I rate it when 0's been hitting the shots like that and the DP. It's such a wicked gun in the right hands. And not to mention the fact that it allows you to go for the setup. It's in fact, it's would you say it's more efficient or faster, I suppose, than the M590?
Absolutely.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that cookie cutter.
Just absolutely, just within a short burst, opening up, and you have a ton of more rounds to either keep on opening walls or opening the heads of your opponents. So
5 seconds left before
plenty of ways about it, and Zero Prince definitely would be a very deadly opponent to play against. Interestingly enough, similar setup we are seeing here. Well, I was just about to say no openers in the wall, but Brew is actually just not really wasting any time. Opens up the door, about to get to scouting, whereas the rest of the team is going to be trying to storm the watchtower, while Sporky is on a solo run for the tower, but instead Mystique opens up her own scoreline. That's huge against Angry as well. That's a heavy amount of utility being now taken out.
I did say Mystique 1 to watch on the Jaeger. Unfortunately, Sporky is well and truly watching that angle from Garage.
Mystique will be molding about this one.
Oh yeah, she's going to be a little upset.
Who in their right state of mind, like, outside of maybe, like, occasional, like, odd strats, would be holding an angle for a rotation from meeting? Whilst the whole site is downstairs. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just something that I don't think Radical Rebels were expecting in any shape or form.
45, so there is still room to work with here. Volpez obviously 1 round away from closing out the first map of the season. A 6-1 scoreline transitioning to a 7-1 victory. I mean, that is exactly how you want to be starting the season. Radical. I mean, they've got the guns to do it. They've got the utility to do it. Zero
completely locked out.
Okay, leaving me behind, guys. It is my time to shine. Has the shield. concussion through. Aussie Ash takes some damage. Shamika is there. And Sporky decides, you know what? No, I don't need to commit just yet. Baited out. The shield's gone. Pushes through towards that E-Box wall, looking for the angle towards Pillar. And the final minute, this is going to be explosive.
He wants to actually take that gunfight right now, and has the angle. Unfortunate timing for Zero Prince to whip out the Shamika launcher. Results in her very quick demise. 4v3 tagged up. Aussie Ash and Allura are the last two players remaining, and now it's, well, very desperate time, I'll say this.
Aussie falls. It's a triple for Sporky yet. Not going to be the ace. Might be another quad for her here, but the swing, it's Taki to close it out. Volpez take a commanding map to start the season off.
Absolutely, that was clean game from them. Managed to clean up some of the mistakes, and honestly a very strong entry into Season 6 for Women's League here for Volpez. And well done, congratulations. 7-1 is a very solid scoreline to kickstart the run. 13-2 and 11-4. Ooh. Sporky and Brew, just monstrous performance from them.
Look, just a little bit cracked there in the pickup of the victory. I mean, the gameplay, it really just spoke for itself. Volpez came in far more prepared. They go to a map that works very, very well for them. And despite Radical's best efforts, they couldn't quite clean up those mistakes.
Yeah. Started off quite well in the first round, and kind of from there on, it just kind of all faded away the moment essentially Volpez were able to clean up their act. But look, it's still just the beginning of the season. There's still going to be plenty of chances for Radical Rebels to come back, and if not, they can at the very least play for some upsets, because there are plenty of those to be made.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a hell of a way to kick this season off, but that is only our first map of the broadcast here in week 1. We are going to throw it to a bit of a break. Up after the break, we take the newly formed Overt, throw them up against the Fallen Angels just to see how things go for them to start the season off. So make sure you're ready to go when we come back. We'll be back soon.
see me with it. You don't wanna see me with it.
Oh, sorry, you caught me restoring my mic levitation spell. You know, we wizards here on the Casting Death Cthulhu. We are looking to our second map of the evening. The newly reformed Overt roster coming in the competition have, well, not newly reformed. They've picked up X-Team Senshi. So it's some very familiar players coming to the competition and their opponents, of course, Fallen Angels. Before we get there, though, we'll have a quick recap of our first match of the evening. Volpes versus the Radical Rebels, taking a look at just how that one played out for us earlier. And look, the numbers speak for themselves. Sporky sporting a 6.5 KD.
Look, Sporky absolutely popped off. There you go, and just absolutely ballistic with some of the plays, both on the defense and offense as well. Followed up by Brunek, who also took up the mantle of the Jaeger/Fragmite player and ballistic herself as well. The rest of the team, borderline, were not even being allowed to find any more frags than more than 6. So honestly, well done by Vulpes. Unfortunately for RDC, just far too many things went wrong way, and just unfortunate mistimings left, right, and center were plaguing them.
Big numbers and big expectations for Volpes going through the rest of the season. But match 2, it's coming up hot on the cards to kick things off here. And look, I'm genuinely very excited for this matchup. Coming into it, Overt, who, look, let's be honest, this Women's League team has a lot to live up to. The Overt legacy in Stage 3 of the Oceanic Nationals is quite one to live up to. But these are a very capable team of women as well.
Absolutely. Look, both rosters absolutely capable. Overt, certainly, I would imagine, going into this matchup would be kind of looking like the favorites, but Fallen Angels showed us some very unusual play style back in previous seasons, and were able to catch their opponents very heavily off guard to the point where like there wasn't any time to really adapt to unpredictability factor by FA. So, look, let's not waste any more time. Let's delve deeper into the actual rosters and have a closer look at each and one of them.
Well, first, of course, it is Overt, formerly Team Senshi. Psycho, Triceratops, better known as Cryceratops. She is that good, she will make you cry if you don't hit the shot first. Beans, Baki, and the legend herself, Cortari, coming into this competition. And honestly, that isn't the beginning. It's not even the last bit of craziness in this roster. They've got Ravenna and Fate Saber as subs, and Chilled and Face Cream as the coaches. This is probably one of the most stacked teams in this competition.
Absolutely. Look, Face Cream, as a player, he's absolutely cracked and absolutely scary to play against. Him as a coach, I would imagine he would be bringing a hefty amount of knowledge and experience into the team. But as if the team was already, like you said, wasn't stacked. Triceratops, absolutely just nuts. Baki, one of the freshest introductions into Women's League, showing some great promise. Cortari, I mean, you look at that scoreline, 581 by 319 deaths. Albeit this is across multiple seasons, but this is one of the highest performance numbers that we've seen in general. And Psycho and Beans joining them for the season, looking to make quite a very, very solid team.
Well, I mean, Kotari's numbers speak for itself. 1.82 KD, and that is a sustained KD over a number of seasons for her. 616 rounds played. Look, let's be honest. This addition to this overt roster is going to be a pretty potent one, and we know we joke about it, but we know what happens when Cortari takes the the easy mode gloves off, picks up the smoke SMG, picks up the fuse. You know it's going down.
Absolutely. Look, this whole roster is very, very stacked and looking to be very promising. Possibly even, well, full Cortari could be also reviving kind of the ye-old dream of back when she was part of Elevate, where they went for a three-peat throughout Women's League. So, look, facing against them, though, Fallen Angels, the roster that, like I mentioned before, they sported, at least back in the previous seasons, they sported a very interesting, a bit of an unusual play style, and were able to really catch their opponents off guard really well.
Their opponents tonight, though, may not be quite so easy to take down. It's the Fallen Angels coming to this competition. Again, some names that are well known and some slightly new players into this roster. Crystal, Luxie, Meg, Kiera, and Nez. Look, Meg, a newer player into the competition, has done a bit of casting as well, so has a pretty decent head around the game. But Crystal is a mainstay, ship potato in the backside. Queen, AFK, and Izumi as well. So this is a roster newer to the competition, but still with endless potential.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, with the introduction of quite a few names that, well, we haven't yet seen within Women's League per se, Crystal to lead them should be a solid start. Curious how will they really perform, given the fact that, well, no coaches are there comparative to the Overts roster, but the subs have plentiful amount of competitive experience, so should still be able to give quite a fair few pointers in general. So honestly, this is a roster that looking to be a little bit more like a dark horse. Maybe we are going to be seeing a few more memes. Overall, curious. Maybe Meg will be able to utilize her casting skills to, pretty much be the IGL and kind of keep on the calls going just non-stop like a machine gun.
Well, whether or not that could be the case, we'll have to wait and see. But what we know is we head into the map ban phase just to see where we will be going. And we've already seen Oregon. We are going to be going to Cafe. Oregon banned out first round with Bank, Coastline Villa in the second rotation, and Clubhouse Chalet to close it out. Cafe Dostoevsky, a staple of the competition, a mainstay of the competition. I'm ready to go to Cafe Dostoevsky.
Absolutely. Look, just checking with the teams if they are all ready. But look, Cafe should be definitely a huge map to play. We do have the R's from Overt and quote unquote, I guess, from Cortari. FA also, I guess. Yeah. The FA players also give us the R, so let's quickly have a look at Cafe Dostoevsky and get ourselves quickly familiarized. Otherwise, look, good luck, have fun, and honestly, this is a fun time upon us because, look, both teams sporting some of the newest introductions to Women's League and promising to be a very, very still close game. Well, maybe, possibly, perhaps.
Triceratops already hitting this with the it's overt time, which is not what you want in your first map of the stage. You don't want overtime. You want to close it out in regulation because that is just the smart play. Flora is the first ban. Fallen Angels taking him off the board, so no Rotero's coming into play. I would imagine possibly something like the Jackal on a map like Cafe.
Yeah, Jackal would make sense. Thatcher as well would make sense. Well, there he goes. I definitely did not time this in any shape or form. On the defense, look, I don't think we are going to be seeing anything too unusual. Valkyrie Mira maybe could be the play here, or maybe something just completely out of the blue, but there we go. Okay, Valkyrie. Almost oh no.
Art's in chat for the overt team. Qatari's signature phrase. Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't been hit with a dad joke just yet.
Look, you should have seen the knee slappers she was pulling out in the lobby whilst we were waiting and prepping.
You were
for
feeding them through, but like everyone knows, if Qatari doesn't drop a dad joke in all chat during the match, it makes their odds of winning a little bit lower.
I'm sure she'll take up on quite a few opportunities here and there. Wouldn't put it past that. For now, though, round one, Fallen Angels to kickstart their play on the defense. Gives them a chance to really, in the early times, to put a stop to the whole onslaught that Overt are looking to bring in, and a very interesting lineup that Overt are bringing in. If we won't be seeing any 6 picks here, that is a very strong utility disposal and information gathering lineup. I mean, you look at this, you have Iana, you have Zero, you have Twitch to kind of be also for that info gathering / utility denial, and then Thermite and Nomad to pop up as well. Interestingly enough, by the way, as well, we haven't really seen, I believe Sporky last season was one of the Zero mains, and seeing her on now Zafia role definitely felt quite interesting to say the very least. Apart from that, Cortari on Zero could do quite a lot of damage. On the side of FA, a very, I don't want to say standardized because it's not. Okay. Wait, hang on. What was that? I used to hate facial hair, but then it grew on me. Okay. 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 Well, there you go, Panda.
There we go. Overt have this one in the bag. Everyone knows the power of the dad joke. Qatari is involved. But, look, let's be honest, it's going to Cafe. Overt already gearing themselves up with a pretty scary lineup to be taking the battle to...
Attackers must locate.
Look, you say that it's
taking the
scary.
Fallen Angels on the 3rd floor.
Yeah, you say that it's a scary one, but you look at FA, them bringing in a Pulse as well to this one, who is also straight away going to be playing in the train, could deal a hefty amount of damage unless he gets drawn out. So this could be a very dangerous play here. Apart from that, all of the setup, I rate this. You have Goyo with a rotation, you have a Rooney sitting on another Goyo shield, overlooking into an unbreached wall yet, but finally it does get punched out. And the remainder are playing in Cocktail, so it's a little bit more of a passive waiting for those swings kind of playstyle rather than something that we so gotten used to see with like a very dominant presence in the piano directly, and then some presence around maybe the bar and, well, maybe a little bit more around Frieza. But apart from that, no, this is a good setup. This is a very strong one that I think Fallen Angels might be able to yoink away quite a few rounds here.
Perfect shot. Argus deployed.
Standard stuff coming out of Overt in this approach to the 3rd floor bomb site. So nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary. Frag grenade set up to try and deal with that shield deep in the bathroom. Try and clear out the Saria gates as well. But you look at the positioning, you look at the setup. Qatari looking to play the upside down repel.
Actually has the prime position here to just smoke absolutely anyone, and decides to actually send it in. Has the angle and really could catch anyone on rotation, either Goyo or Rooney.
Quintessential, classic Qatari. Just full send, all aggression, all aim, all skill. So I'm not that surprised that we see her going for the full send. There is coverage, there is support. We see a frag grenade landing nice and deep. We could see Meg taken off the board early. She's still stuck in that bathroom with the wall open and the shield now gone. The drone there to spot her as well. So she is in a world of trouble.
Especially with Sarah holding her position around the white stairs window. This is huge, but Meg opens up her skull and there's already another send. Meg on a double. All of a sudden, this is looking very good. Meg on a triple. What the hell? Hell? What?
They must have assumed that she'd relocated, but she hadn't. She stuck around. Beans there, able to trade back in the end. So it is Sarah and Beans left to try and come back from a player deficit at the moment. I mean, Meg on her debut in with Fallen Angels. What a hell of a way to kick it off.
Attackers have recovered
Yeah,
their
Luxie as well making a rotation behind Nez. This could be a good reinforcement of the position. Crystal holding on her own. And the Cocktail Lounge could actually shut this down really well. Spots the rotation, doesn't fire up on it, doesn't make a play. Beans punishes her. That's a huge play here right now. With the plan starting to go down, Sarah needs all the coverage, really. Luxie has not spotted either of them yet. Nez on the flank could actually mean that that disconnection could work into the hands of Overt.
Wow, just no coverage whatsoever from Fallen Angels. Nez's swing over towards Cigar is going to be huge, but Beans well and truly aware of the positioning there. Sarah with the pistol out playing towards New Belk as well.
Wait, did she use all of the primary ammo?
I don't know, but I mean, obviously feels less than confident. The scan out from Luxie should reveal her positioning. You get a cheeky Nitro plays, just going to charge on in. Luxy looking for the swing, looking for the angle, goes to the spray. Sarah does it with the secondary. And Overt pick up their first round of Women's League Season 6.
Well, that was a very interesting round, to say the very least, from this beginning to the end of it. Starting off with a very solid lineup, but then falling made with the majority of it to Meg, and then being unable to close out the final 2 frags. Overt definitely managed to recover really, really well. Shout out to Beans and Sarah for playing their cards really well.
Well, back
Actually,
onto the same bomb site. Fallen Angels are going to go for the reattempt. Kira does pick up the Aruni again, so largely the same setup, the only difference being Crystal no longer playing the Mozzie, playing the Wehrmai instead.
and we have Luxy as well, swapping off the Pulse onto Alibi as well.
True, yes.
Which is a good decision, given the fact that Pulse didn't really do much in his presence in the train, so they are looking to play a little bit more kind of down to the ground kind of play, around with some maybe more emphasis onto the piano room, and see what can be done here. Actually, now that I realized, piano is still here. I almost bet. For some reason I thought the piano was on the hatch. Brain is mush. I'm sorry. Too much G Fuel.
I mean, we had the bank hatch change, the new one for Cafe. We'll put it right under the piano. Look, I rate it.
Yes.
You've got it prone underneath it
10
and
seconds left
drop
before
down.
insertion.
That would have been interesting.
5 seconds to go.
Would have provided a few interesting as well tactical opportunities, but I guess there's a reason why I'm a caster and not in charge of any balancing changes for Siege. But apart from that, look, FA had a solid setup. It's just the fact that they couldn't really play into that kind of somewhat pressured position. It really shouldn't have been a pressured position. It just felt like the two that were rotating, Nez and Luxy, were very much disconnected from Crystal's position, and from their own kind of not much could have been done there. Shout out to Meg though, she was able to do a phenomenal job, just keep on applying pressure until she ran out of bullets and died. And Overt, same stuff, just different day with Psycho and Thermite. This is bringing in the opportunity to obviously get in for the hard breaching, but I don't think it's going to be as essential given just the sheer abundance of some of the walls that are left. Soft. Sorry.
Overt, hot off the back of that last victory, should have an idea of the setup, and Nez caught out immediately by Baki. That's a huge frag to take out early. And look, it was a cheeky little angle too that she was able to hit. Meg finds one again, but Luxy falls to Kotaru, so the trade back comes very, very quickly. Meg last time was a thorn in the side of Overt. Took a little longer than would have been liked for her to be taken off the board, but right now they do have the player advantage.
But managed to show us what they can do in a 2v3, and with them being in a 4v3. In their favor, this is looking pretty promising. Crystal actually has the very solid positioning here that could shut things down, given the fact that this is a very spread out pressure onto the piano room as well. Oh no way, Baki didn't see the head. It was right there in her face, but okay, Kotaru just gets a frag like that with a frag grenade, just like that.
Frag under the
No
Vulcan
worries.
shield, using her own team's utility against. Oh no! Oh no! Caught looking the wrong direction entirely. And I mean, round one was a hell of a bounce back for Overt. Round two is them in control from start to finish.
There was no even hint of possible slowdown from Overt, and this is something that I absolutely love from this very roster. They managed so far to bring in that momentum-based, very heavy momentum-based gameplay that just keeps on rolling despite some of the losses. They don't slow down when one or two players do fall. They just reevaluate their play, then get back to work. And this is something that actually quite a few teams, both inside Women's League and outside Women's League, still to this day have struggles from and being in different tier leagues as well. Certainly introduces a whole plethora of different complications, but apart from that, look, well done, Overt, from the get-go, establishing their dominance here, showing some great promise.
Well, I mean, in org like this, of course, you'd be wanting to sell yourself as a valuable asset in this competition. They've had their OCL team bumped up to OCN for the final stage and finished top 4. So it's not like you wouldn't want a team to try and match that in the Women's League and to start the way that they have. I mean, look, these girls are gearing up for that top 4 finish as well.
Thinking that they're aiming straight up just for a top 1, really, with how things started off. This has been ballistic of a performance that they've brought on board. I'm liking this whole setup that they've been bringing in. There's some extra expansion into the bakery, and by the counter, albeit nobody is there yet. Is a solid decision. Maybe for a bait play could be good. A good thing right now for Meg, she actually gets to play around that position really well. Sorry, I said this is set up by Over. It's set up by Fallen Angels.
The shock drone already taken out the cams here, and Meg is just going to
no.
sit and watch helplessly.
What, Meg?
It's playing
Oh,
ring
Meg.
around the rosy. She's
no.
been juked by the shock drone. Beans
Beans is
just
just-
cracked on the RCXD sticks. Just remote control racing is her forte.
Racing is her passion. Fragging out is the second one. Oh, so much damage. Meg, though, gets to run away. This introduces, well, a chance of opportunity, but only a down from there on. But there's no indication that she's been down, unless they hear the groans and of pain of Goyo. That's the only indication of that. But apart from that, unless the drones confirm it, that's going to be it. Yeah, there we go. Full confirmation. So full send is just about to be upon us.
Does Beans confirm the kill with the shock drone? That is the question.
I doubt it.
Well, it's bakery control taken. Yeah, Baki is just going to finish it off there. And with that opening into the kitchen itself, Baki almost finds a second one. That's not at all how Fallen Angels wanted this setup to work. Sarah does get down, but it's not the end of the world. Easily picked up, easily redeemable in that situation, but this coverage is not the cleanest. Sarah finished off by Crystal in the end. Exothermic there as well, and Luxie looking to swing the kit of the service entrance. It will be fragged out Baki for a double in the round.
Clean play by Beans as well, shutting it down through a slight bit of mispositioned smoke, being able to play it out perfectly well. And again, Overt are just dominating. There's no real way to describe it anyhow else. It's just pure domination without any kind of withdrawals and sprinting right into the barrel. Well, Nez is gone.
Beans hits the 500 nice and clean here in round 3. Kiera walking towards the same position where a teammate just died. Crouch walking through. This goes to the free fire, but that will have well and truly given away a position right now. According to Face Cream in chat, the strats we're seeing right now are Nate specials. That's where the credit is being paid. Baki, 5-1-0. Can she get the 6? No, Bean steals it!
Oh wait, Beans was right under Bucky.
They were both locking it down.
Oh look, one way to the Bucky's not particularly excited about that fact as well.
Equal opportunity fraggers, this overt team.
Oh man, yeah. Well, another thing to really worth mentioning, because I don't think we did see it on the graphics. Nate is also listed, at least on Discord, as their coach. So Face Cream and Nate, as part of coaching staff, that's very saucy, and I rate this. Also, shout out to Nate and Face Cream, absolutely handsome two gamers.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Anything set up by the man is probably going to involve no small amount of just frag potential. That's what he's well known for. But look at the frag department. Beans is 6-0 in round 4 right now. 2 kills around. Has yet to die. She is. I mean, it's the Beans. It's the protein. She's just stacked on it.
Living up to the name, one could even say. Like, yeah, certainly a formidable performance. He needs to get the one more frag to become the reverse 007.
10 seconds to insertion.
The positive 007, I guess. But gotta say, overall, Overt just playing well and still able to sprinkle the memes on top of it.
Attackers are heading out.
Which is probably the most amusing thing to me, because usually we're so used to teams either they memeing and we're seeing a very kind of variable result, or they full on sweating. Overt are able to do both and with great amount of finesse. Like, they still clean on their act, they're still able to just absolutely frag out their opponents, and then still be able to bring in some heat. Beans just keeps on just trolling poor Castle of Kira with that shock drone. Pardon me, laser drone now, because no longer it shoots the tasers. It's now the lasers.
Nice cams. That's so much information she's getting. Unfortunately, now with both drones gone, means that there is limited utility clear. It's going to have to be down to the secondaries. Yeah, look, that's all they need. They clear out the Vulcan shield. So Beans, now it's just her job to frag out.
Rocky instead just sends it with the ARX. Psycho is the one to pick up, finally get on board as well. Right now, the moment the pressure is going to be mounting, that's where the losses are going to be compounded. Kira has the opportunity to swing here. Could have actually caught back you off guard, but that expansion is not working, and Overt is just dominating. Look, within just over a minute, already 4 players of FA completely fallen over.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Look, consolation prize. At least Barky gets that kill back before, Beans does die. She dies herself as well. Unfortunately, Psycho's on the plant. Luxie has to try and hold, rotates through to Freezer. There's no great angles for her to contest. Nitro Cell toss towards Katara, who was upstairs swinging away with that big hammer of hers with 38 seconds remaining. Having to find 3, Luxie's going to have to clutch up in a pretty significant way. 2 players in sight, 1 above watching that plant. It's a tall task at the best of times with the castle barricades in play as well. None of these positionings are going to be overwhelmingly favorable, but Psycho dropped by an SMG-11 headshot. Worried about the vert angles, but Sarah out in Bakery shuts it down. Overt, a 4-round streak to kick the season off.
Very nice. Very clean performance by Overt. Arguably even cleaner than what Vulpes were able to show us, albeit I'm very curious how will the Overt versus Vulpes will go, because Vulpes managed to really pick up their play quite well by the conclusion of that match just early on tonight. And against Overt, I could actually see the match go overtime. But reading Room and Fireplace is upon us.
Oh, the scoreline like this, I don't know if we will get to see an overtime, just given, the map. I suppose it depends on who you ask. I suppose we are used to, as Oceanic Challenge League casters, things being overwhelmingly defender-sided. I mean, normally this map is considered somewhat attacker-sided, so you can understand the scoreline, but now, Overt are the dominant team. They're the ones controlling the momentum.
So, they're looking to come and do the work, and that's exactly what they're here for. Luxie on the ground floor, actually, Rome could do interesting amount of damage, I have to say. Given that she doesn't get spotted, but with the sheer amount of info gathering, Overt could really flush her out.
Shout out to Overt, though. I'm looking forward to this talk about sponsorship opportunity. Govert, Go-Gurt. Look, I'd rate that. I'd get me some Overt Go-Gurt. I'd be down for that. Love me a bit of Go-Gurt. It's just the best. But for now, it might be for Joe to have to work out behind the scenes.
Few opportunities there to be worked out first, but
and apparently Ravenna has agreed to be the spokeswoman for Govert Go-Gurt.
Ooh. I read that. Wouldn't mind me some of that as well. For now, though, Overt are making sure that they are pretty much just clearing out top floor. They know that there is going to be presence, but how quick FA are going to be on rotation, that is going to be a whole different question. As well as that, Nerf Prony, 16-rounder, special, with the extended barrel, by the way, that I just started absolutely despising after the nerf, but
P10 Ronnie Suppressor. Yeah. It's the way to go.
Honestly, I'm still yet to try that, but that could be the
I
line.
tried it. It's still as good as ever, from what I can tell.
Psycho is breaching the
Maybe,
softball with
oh, that's a.
a thermite charge.
Maybe we need to ask Tiltec. He's the expert on the P10 Roni. But
True.
for now, it is going to be Crystal with the Roni in hand. Look at those frags. First, second floor control. Third floor if you're American, I believe. Control being taken care of. Crystal dropped by Cortari, playing around that skylight. And Fallen Angels will fall back for now, but you look at the positioning. Overt, aggressive, and taking that control.
See now being presented with the huge opportunity for a flank or a C4 play, and either one of those possibilities are extremely scary. Those, though, breached floors could be very dangerous to play around, and look, at the moment it's a very passive play by FA, which feels a little bit shut down due to just how aggressive Overt so far were.
Nitro!
Oh,
4 seconds. Ooh, a bit of a misplay. I don't know. How has Luxy landed it like that? Nitro Cell. Goodbye, Sarah. And we're back in the 4-4 with 35 seconds remaining here. The push has to come. They have to get themselves onto that site to start contesting the plant. If not, they could find themselves in trouble. Beans, again, just cracking off some ripper shots. Takes down Meg. Puts them in that advantageous position. The drop-down pillar should be coming any moment. Cortari looking for that information. Barkey dropped as she rotates through 90. Nez to pick the kill up as well. 15 seconds on the clock. Things are about to get a bit dire here for Overt. They have to flood on in. Psycho tucked in, looking for that plant coverage there from Cortari. This is exactly what they're looking for. Do they have anything to deny? No. Nitro sells nothing. Kira stuck in train. Luxy swings out, finds one, but the kill goes back the way of Overt. They drop Nez. Every single kill they find is huge. Cortari swings, finds Luxy, but it's only a shoulder. It's not enough to get the kill and win the round. Looking for more. Luxy gets aggressive, but Cortari is just better in those situations. Cool, calm, collected under pressure. And now Kira, alone, has to try and do what she can. The plant is down. The crossfires are established, and Cortari claims a fourth.
just as we thought that this would be a very defensive side of round, and it started to look initially after that really solid C4 play from Luxy. Over just again said they don't care. 2v4, 2v3, nah, all good. Cortari being able to keep her position really stable just proves that whilst Overt maybe occasionally having a few execution setup hiccups, they still have enough of the very well-trained gamers that can keep up their own solo play really well.
Well, fifth round in a row. They're looking for a clean half here. Obviously, would not be the first 7-0 tonight. Warriors have already picked themselves up that one. But look at the numbers. Cortari 8-1 after that round. Huge.
Absolutely blasting the opposition. And even then, Beans 7-2, Bucky on 6-3. Pretty solid performance overall. And it shows that the whole team is doing their best to perform. Even when you look at some of the less impressive school lines like Psycho, like Sarah, they still doing their job. They still doing. Sarah still gets her job done as a hard breacher and planter. Sarah still does her job in general, just as either flank watch or just getting at the very least the utility down. So over doing their job right, and shout out to the whole squad. Doing a very well organized play by themselves. Whereas on the side of Fallen Angels, just look, too many things really didn't go well for them, and very hard to pinpoint what exactly should be done to for them to win it out, at least a single round here, and stop the round bleed.
Overt really want that Go-Get sponsorship. They're battling for it. They know it's just around the corner, and with Ravenna as a spokeswoman for the product, it's going to do well. You know it. Everyone wants some Go-Get. And honestly, like you got Beans on the team. It's just sheer energy at the end of the day. Vulcan Shield gone. Again, utility being cleared up by Beans. Meg does find the kill onto Cortari. Unfortunately, going to ruin that 8-1 scoreline. But Meg hit some crisp shots here today. Is it going to be enough to deny the flawless half, you reckon?
Albeit we've seen these rounds start in a very similar kind of fashion, where early momentum, early advantage in the hands of FA, but then Over just yoink it away. They still have a solid amount of players and still sort of a solid amount of positioning. Meg, though, her positioning is absolutely flawless. Gotta say, her way of reading into where she needs to be playing, perfect. Uh-oh, that's not good. Chandelier doesn't work that way.
Unfortunately, yeah. Fallen Angel struggling a little bit, catching explosive utility on the map around them. Baki will be picked up, so it is a 4 versus 5, and now 4 versus 4 as Baki gets vengeance against the player who just dropped her moments ago. Crystal tucked into the corner. Nez falls as well. Baki is on an absolute tear. Crystal rotating back into backstock, looking for the angle, looking for the aggression. Baki going to just walk on towards Cocktail. Look for an angle with Luxy below, though. This Nitro could be huge, but Baki's already found a third. Doesn't care, moves out of the way, and is good for now. Actually, that's a solid floor. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Beans finds Crystal, and it is Luxy rotating towards red stairs. Can she get up and deny this plant? There's too much time remaining for Overt. The flank, though, could be huge and could take down a player or two. Catching the right angle, but no, Beans on the job. A flawless half for Overt.
Good. Showing us some very clean performance, and it's just just doing the absolute work here. Gotta say, very good recovery. Some of the misplays, again, there were a few positions that Fallen Angels keep on punishing them very heavily, and that is namely them not really expecting some of the more fluid rotations that FA players were able to make, namely Meg. Big highlight player from Fallen Angels so far. Meg has been doing some amazing work, and now switching over from Goyo to a Nomad play, I'm actually quite curious to see what could be done here, because kind of Goyo and, well, Nomad could be sporting somewhat different playstyles, albeit different sides. Nomad feels a little bit more passive, but with the way how ARX been played as of recently, it is just a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty dynamic role shifts between defense and attack already here in the Women's League. And, I mean, going from the Goyo onto Nomad, it's a pretty significant role. Cortari on the Wemai as well, having gone from 0. Although, look,
I mean,
that's
that's
sort of linear roles, I suppose, in terms of what they offer to the team. But you look at that, Baki and Beans, Malusi, and the Alibi. They're going to be hunting the frags. They're going to be and Psycho from Thermite onto the Jaeger. So the trend in Women's League is if you're a Thermite player, you're also a Jaeger player for the team.
Could be that. Look, I mean, there's no way to deny that Jaeger's utility, at the very least, if Jaeger's not fragging out, his utility is absolutely still huge. And when you back it up by freshly buffed 1 by the way, as well, because the discs count has been increased as well, could be a very difficult combo to really flank out and frag out unless you have a Thatcher on the board. So a few possibilities are there, and honestly, yeah, look, I rate the whole Jaeger Thermite run. I wonder where did Meg take that damage? Ah, from the window. Okay, right. I see. Baki was there to just tag her up.
Yeah, look. It definitely looks like it's going to be a race between Baki and Beans. Potentially even Kotari as well, to see who hits double digits first. But look at the pings. Look at the info. Those Prismas already feeding on through to the team. Crystal looking to get onto that piano window. You know, cigar bar window, technically, if you want to be pedantic about it. But yeah, look, there's it's piano. It's piano in general. It's cocktail lounge. No, not cocktail lounge. Cigar lounge. It's late. It's almost midnight. My brain is switched off for the evening, and unfortunately, the technicians won't be back until 7.
Yeah, look, can't blame you. It is the late gamer hours. Albeit for me, look, I'm just living in this.
This is when we get started. What do you mean?
This is when we get started. Yeah, this is the prime gamer time only for me. But look, not for my family, unfortunately. Despite that, though, we do already see a very nice, quick take of the piano room. presence by Beans could really shut things down, but it's Sarah to actually open up the scoreline really nicely off the back of the information that is being reeled in and given up.
Yo Kai, more
That
like Yo
team's
kindly
all-
donating those kills to me right now. A minute left on the clock. Meg going to be tagged further. That Yokai is giving so much information. This area,
Oh, man.
information on 2. Barky swings, and it will be her to hit double digits first as Meg falls. And now, as we hit that final 50 seconds of the round, what can you do? Sarah covering from pillar. The drone is there as well. If he steps back a few paces and a little bit to the right, that's going to be a headshot on the Nez.
And Bucky, meanwhile, just keeps on farming her frags on the white stairs. And really, we're finally seeing some damage. Sarah doing her job. And yeah, apart from that, Nez and Kara are in a very dire situation.
Attackers have located
20
bomb.
seconds play. Nez falls. Beans finds it, so she'll get herself double digits as well. Technically, she has the better KD. Cortari cops a shot to the shoulder from Kiera, but 13 seconds. Kiera not quite able to get over the cigar shop display case. Has to force something. Might even look to save KD. Cortari swings, looks for the shot, but it's Sarah from below. An overt close out a flawless game with a flawless round, a 7-0 victory.
There we go. 7-1. We had a 7-0. We now have
We've
a
had
7.
2 7-0s, a 7-1, and a 7-4, if I remember correctly. I believe 7-4 was Forsaken 5. Or Forsaken
Nice.
Boba.
Forsaken Boba, yeah. Jesus Christ. Look. Memes aside, though, very nice and clean game by Overt, and there's no denying that they
What
definitely
is that
came very
gridlock
prepared.
picture? It's from the Apocalypse
The
Plant
Apocalypse
event,
event,
if I
yeah.
remember correctly. That was was
Yeah.
a cursed event, but what a match. What wasn't cursed? None of what Overt did was a mistake. They absolutely nailed that from start to finish. The moments where Fallen Angels did step up and take those gunfights, it wasn't from a lack of trying, maybe a lack of information, but not at all from a lack of trying from Overt. And yeah, look, I think that's probably indicative of the season we can expect them to have.
Absolutely, yeah. I definitely think that they are certainly gunning for that top 2, top 1 position that they could very, very cleanly take out if they keep up the performance like this. And honestly, I was saying that before that, Cortari was the big highlight, and then the rest of the team kind of still looked a bit, well, at the very least unknown, given some of the lack of statistics. But honestly, each and one of those introductions to the team very well slotted in so far.
Unfortunately, look, I don't quite know the numbers for the Warriors game, but at the moment, despite the best efforts there of Barky and Beans, I think Sporkiet still carries the highest KD with a 6.5. We had a 5 in that match, and I believe, I want to say like a 4 as well, if I remember correctly, and potentially a 3.3 or something crazy like that. We will have to wait for Alex to get that all sorted so we can get the stats up on the screen. But, I mean, the new orgs in the competition stepping up in a big way in week 1.
Yeah, despite what we usually so accustomed to see in, say, something like OCL, that's not the case here. Warriors claimed the win, Forsaken 5 claimed the win, Forsaken Boba, Overt claimed the win, Volpes claimed the win, so it seems like in Women's League, teams that acquire the new orgs, or rather, get picked up by new orgs, actually get the boost in their performance.
So, just saying. So, Izumi from Fallen Angels is one of their subs. Did a tier list on stream of the Women's League teams for this stage. And so Warriors was the win-it-all team. Overt, Volpes, and Forsaken 5 playoffs. Mid-teams were Grumpy Grapes and Viking Army, and underdogs were Fallen Angels and Radical. She actually predicted the 4 winners in Warriors, Overt, Volpes, and Forsaken 5 in her power ranking. That's I rate it. Unfortunately, may have cursed her team a little bit there.
But still, regardless of that, a solid start for our first week. I'll have to say that.
Well, we have our match breakdown ready to go. We can dive on into the numbers of how exactly Cafe Dostoevsky did play out. There you go on your screen. And just look at
How
it.
many
A
skulls?
5 KD for Beans, 4 for Cortari. Unfortunately, because Baki died one extra time, it's only a 3.67. And look, as much as, Psycho's only got a 0.5 KD, she did her job round after round and got,
Absolutely.
plants down, walls open. Just, unfortunately, it doesn't quite do her credit for her impact on the match.
Like I said in mid-match, Psycho, despite the scoreline, she was always doing her job very diligently. If when the time was there, when they were pushing for the side, straight beeline for the plant spot. When there was a need to get a breach was already done by the time they were probably even started talking about it. So honestly, yeah, she done a pretty solid job overall. Shout out to her and shout out to the whole team because each one of them were able to play as a single unit, as well as that they were able to play in a very self-sustained manner as well.
Massive stuff across the board. Despite the best efforts of Fallen Angels, they did show up, they did try. I mean, you look at Meg, her first match with the team, 5-7, still honestly, that opening round triple kill, I definitely thought Overt were going to drop that round, but Beans and Baki, what more can you say? The combo,
Exactly.
it was just huge. And honestly, there was some talk in chat. Beans flavored Go-Get might be the play here if she keeps playing like that.
Wouldn't say no to that.
I would. That's cursed. That's cursed as hell. No, we're not getting Beans flavored Go-Get.
I'm going for it. I'm copping it. I mean, Panda, you know me at this point. I'm when it comes even to Siege, everyone going for the most stylish one. I'm going for the most cursed stuff.
Look,
You should be already expecting cursed stuff from me. Come on.
It's mixed berry or nothing. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. But Cthulhu, that does bring us to the end of week 1 here. And already the competition is hot and heavy, and it's definitely looking to get even better going ahead. We do have our schedule going into the next week. After this one, obviously, look at the schedule as it was tonight. 7-1 win for Volpez. Warriors claim the victory against Viking Army 7-0. Boba get the same 7-4 against Grumpy Grapes and Overt with a massive round out of a 7-0 against Fallen Angels. Is this sort of how we expected things to go?
Relatively, yeah. Look, the teams that were picked up by some of those bigger orgs like Overt, like Forsaken 5, like Warriors and Volpez as well, definitely they have those lineups that are looking incredibly powerful. But between Grumpy Grapes, Fallen Angels, Viking Army, and Radical Rebels, I still think that they have plenty of room for growth, and we've seen a fair few of those rosters actually perform really, really well close to the conclusion of the regular season. So I wouldn't put it past. Maybe it's just the first week jitters because there was quite a break between last season and now. So maybe it's partially the growing pains, partially is just shaking the rust off. So I would assume that week 2 is going to be much more closely contested.
Yeah, look, week 2, it's definitely going to be one to watch. That much is for sure. And I mean, look, we already have 2 teams stuck at the top of the table. Warriors and Overt both win 7-0, so they are tied. We're tied technically for first, given the round differential. And look, do you reckon it is going to come down to that? Other than, well, actually no. Do you reckon it is going to be that head-to-head matchup, Warriors versus Overt, to actually decide who ends the season in first place?
Yeah, that could be a possibility, given the fact of how strong so far it seems like Warriors came out with a 7-0 against Overt. I'd rate that matchup once we do get to it. I definitely would want to see it, and I would love to get to cast it. Apart from that, even Forsaken 5 versus Volpez, or Volpez versus any of the before 3 mentioned teams, I'll be keen to see what could be done here, because out of the 4 winners so far, I would still say that, for me at least, Volpez are kind of, I guess you could call it the up and coming team, but in a good way, where they still have room for growth. They've shown us a phenomenal siege today, and I'm curious, where do they stand against Warriors, F5, or Overt, because those are definitely going to be the top 3 contenders here.
Well, we will have to wait deeper into the competition to find the answer to those questions, but I mean, if that is the standard set from week 1, we know for a fact that the remainder of the competition is going to be hot. And honestly, I'm excited for it. Looking at the standings as they are right now, after week 1, it's as you would expect. There were only 4 matches. We're only week 1 in. But at the moment, yeah, Overt Warriors top of the table for now. Volpez third, Forsaken Boba in fourth, Grumpy Grapes, Radical Rebels, Viking Army, and Fallen Angels rounding out the bottom of the leaderboard. Unfortunately, that is just the way things go in these lost situations. But it is still week one. We've still got a number of weeks of competition, and there is still a chance to rise up to that top 4 position.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, I still think that there's plenty of chances and plenty of spots for the upsets here for Women's League in Season 6. And I still think that the teams that have this week finished in 5th, 6th, and all the way to 8th still have a very solid chance here to bring an upset, to change the scoreline, if not get to the top 4, at the very least play for an upset, and upsets are going to be plentiful, I would imagine, here.
Yeah, look, and especially with the new addition of Bank, I would imagine that we are going to get some spicy maps going into the later stages of the competition. But for now, week one is done. We are over. And we are going to have to sign off the evening. Unfortunately, you will just have to wait until next week to come back into it and see how things go. But massive thank you to our sponsors before we head off. That is obviously XP Esports, Ubisoft, CQ Racing, Computer Alliance, Intel, ROG, Coolmaster, and UQ. And look, Cthulhu, it has been an absolute pleasure to jump back in for the casting booth for XP Esports Women's League. But until next week, we will see you then.
So I've got my new 3080s, I've got a Cooler Master TD500. Man, now what I need is a 750 watt power supply that's fully modular, 80 plus gold, but still has quiet fans. Where am I gonna get a power supply like that? Oh, what if I did a white build? Well, that makes it worse. I mean, who makes a white version of that power supply? I already have a big enough struggle. Man, this sucks. Now I'm never gonna get a power supply. I'm not gonna have any power whatsoever. Oh, the V-Gold-V2 offers the high-quality user experience you've always wanted. Enjoy an 80-plus gold efficiency rating, full modular cabling, semi-fanless operation, 135mm FDB fan, high-efficiency cables, and a 10-year warranty. At 550, 650, 750, and 850 watt levels, this is now available with white and black casing and cables. If you want to know more about the V-Gold-V2, check the link in the product description below.
My feelings for you, need to know what you're feeling. I have to stop going back to you. Back to you. Back to you.